Hi there, this is Dr. Embody talking about Project 8. It's kind of an interesting one. It deals with hurricanes, something that was in the news this fall. The idea actually came from one of our TAs who's from Puerto Rico, and he was obviously having hurricanes on the mind this fall. But what we're really doing here is practicing with dictionaries. And ultimately, what we're going to do is look at the hurricanes for a variety of years. We read them in, and then for each of those hurricanes, or for each year, there's a number of hurricanes. And for each hurricane, there's a bunch of data about it, in particular where it is and what its wind speed is as it tracks. So let's take a look at things. One of the kind of the neat things that we can do here in this project is, and as before, we've given you the plotting information, but we're going to be taking data and plotting the paths of hurricanes as around the Atlantic. And then we're also, for each one of the hurricanes, we're going to plot its wind speed, the maximum wind speed, and the gauges. It's category 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here, so you can see, like here's Harvey and Irma and Maria and so on, because we're doing the year for 2017. So we have to gather all this data, the trajectories, and so what are the trajectories going to be? Well, each point is a day in the life of the hurricane, and so we'll have a tuple of information like the latitude and longitude, and the date, and the wind speed. And we also have pressure. And so we have that for each of these points. And what we're then going to do is we're going to have a list of tuples. And that's for each hurricane. Right, and that allows us to do the individual plots here. So each hurricane has a list of tuples with it. Each one gives us latitude and longitude of a point, the day, the wind, and the wind speed, and the pressure. And that's how we do the plotting here. Here we are actually going to look at this list of tuples and find the maximum wind speed. Right, and so we're going to have, for each hurricane, we're going to have the maximum wind speed, and that's what we're going to plot here. Now, how we organize this is we are going to have this collection of information for each hurricane. That'll be a dictionary. Right, and the key will be the name of the hurricane. That we all give them names, and the value will be that list of tuples. Then we take all of that let's pick here we go. So we're going to take all of that information and we're going to organize it by year. So this dictionary will be one entry in a dictionary of years. So we're going to have, all my hurricanes by year, and so we'll have a dictionary where okay, so this is another dictionary, and the key is a year, and the value is a hurricane dictionary. That is one of these guys. All right. So we will access things in this, I'll call it my all dictionary. There'll be a year, like 2017 as a string, and then there'll be a name, like Irma. And what will that be? Well, that will be a list of the tuples. That'll give me a list of tuples. For Irma in 2017, we get a list of tuples. And if I looked at all of 2017, that would be a dictionary of all of the hurricanes. You know, Arlene, Brett, Cindy, Dawn, and so on. So this is the organization that we have in order to get this. Now, if we look at the functions, there's a lot of things that are familiar. We have an open file, okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to read our file in this function. It takes a file pointer, and then we're going to create a dictionary and return it. And this gives you information about how each line is done. But what we really do is we're going to create a tuple, just like we saw before, and there's going to be a whole list of these tuples, but each line here will be a tuple, latitude, longitude, date, wind, and pressure. And then we call this other function the update dictionary that does all the work of adding that tuple to the dictionary. And this ends up being the heart and soul of this project. You know, this is where we do all the work for dictionaries in this update dictionary. And what we've tried to do is show you a picture. So, you know, what does a dictionary look like? Well, curly braces, a year, and then a colon, so that's a key. And then we have what's the value? The value is another dictionary. Each one has a key, so the key here is a name. And then its value here, that's a value, that's a list of those tuples. All right. And so each hurricane has its own list of tuples. Each year has its own collection of hurricanes. So for a year you have a dictionary of hurricanes. Each hurricane is a list of tuples. And the interesting part is creating these. So right here is, we basically, in an if statement, we give you an outline of what you do. Suppose a dictionary year is not defined. So we're at the very beginning. I don't have any years in there. Okay, so what we do is we create an empty dictionary, and then we fill that with the name as a key and the hurricane's data as a value. But remember to put that data in a list, okay, because later on we're going to add to it. So that's, if there's no entry for the year, that's what we do. Now, it may be that we already have a year, but we have a new hurricane. So we have a year, but we don't have a hurricane. So what we need to do is add that hurricane for the year using the square brackets, and then its data's value again, which is a list. Okay, so, and then the third situation that you might have, that is, you already have the year, you already have the particular hurricane, like Irma, but what I've got is I've got another data point, another data tuple. And what do I do with that? Well, I append that on. So this right here, this is the heart and soul of this. So once you get this function working, a lot of your life is easier, because create dictionary just calls that. Displaying a table yanks the information out of the dictionary for a particular year. And then the next challenging one is this preparing to plot. So we're going to plot some stuff, and so I have to do that that preparation. So and what we do here is, in this one we create 3 lists so I can do the plotting. One is the list of the names of all the hurricanes, because we're doing a plot for some particular year, like the year 2012 or something. Right? So what are the names? And we do them alphabetically. Okay? So we have 3 lists: names, where they're sorted alphabetically, and then the maximum speed for each of those hurricanes, but they have to be in the same order as the names. So, so if you have a hurricane named Albert, then its max speed will be the first one in that list. And then there's the coordinates, and those are the values. That's my list of lists, and that gives me the the trajectory of the hurricane that I'm going to do. So it's a list of tuples, and with latitude and longitude in there. So got to create those 3 lists. And again, because we're going to be plotting them by name, so we're going to order them alphabetically, and then the coordinates will be in the same order, because you want the corresponding coordinates for the particular hurricane, and the same thing with the speed. And once you've done that, then the plotting is easy. In the main, first of all, you got to get a size. That's just used as len, and then those plots will just fall right out. So there are the 2 challenging parts of this. But this, so in this particular function, we're going to take a dictionary. So we start with this big dictionary, and then from that we're going to create 3 lists. Okay? And so you're going to iterate through the you're going to iterate and yank values out of the dictionary, put them into the list, and at the same time, max speed. Well, you know how to get maximums. We've done that kind of thing before. Although now we can, if you want to, you can actually sort. Just grab the first one, or you can go through and use an if statement. You get to choose. So that gives you the structure and where the tricky parts are. We give you the plotting functions, and then we also outline the rest of it. Open a file. Yeah, you've done that before. Create dictionary. All that does is keep calling update dictionary as you read the file. So this guy is the one you want to spend the most time on, because that's really where all the action is. And then once you have this dictionary, this prepare plot creates our 3 lists. So again, that's really where those 2 are where the guts of the action are. So with that, hopefully that's enough to give you a start. Good luck.